Hey, thank you. Thank you all so much for having me down here. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for Natalia, and also Kristen. Hey, guys, it's time for us to cowboy up. I'm tired of seeing all these women step up to the daggone plate, man. Come on. Share a story with you and talk about how important this time is in the history and the life cycle of the longest running constitutional republic that the world has ever known, these great United States of America. You know, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia in 1961. And I remember when my dad used to take me to Atlanta Airport. It wasn't Hartsfield International or anything like that. But think about it. Once upon a time, you could go to an airport. You could go right up to the gate. You could see your loved ones off. Or you could just have your dad take you and look at airplanes and just marvel at the opportunity of flight. But now we have a generation that is growing up that has never known that freedom. A generation that has never known that liberty. Because every single time there is a quote-unquote crisis in the United States of America, it gives someone an opportunity to take just a little bit more of your liberty and freedom away from you. So that a time will come when we have to teach our kids and tell our kids about what it used to be in the United States of America. See these kids right here? Think about the fact that in Wisconsin, a lady had to be visited by the sheriff's office because she allowed her kids to go out and play with other kids. I was standing over there and the lady talked about let the kids eat dirt. I used to eat dirt. I came out pretty good. Once upon a time when kids got chicken pox, the parents would say, go over and play with that kid so that you could build up your immunity. But now look at what is happening. When we have our kids run into a challenge or something, we try to coddle them. We put them off into a safe space. You can't do that. And that's the exact same thing that elected officials are doing with the American people. They're trying to tell us, stay in your home, stay in your safe space. They're trying to determine who is essential, who is not essential, what is essential. Let me tell you something. There are signs out there that say exactly what Benjamin Franklin talked about when he said that those who refuse, those who give up essential liberty, you don't deserve essential liberty.
Right.
And if you give it up for temporary safety, you will not deserve liberty nor the safety. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth about where we are with this COVID-19.
Amen.
We should not be fearful people.
No.
We are not descendants of fearful men and women.
No.
You think about Texas. If there's one thing about Texas, it's about rugged individualism. Last week, Saturday, I was down there at the cenotaph at the Alamo because someone has come up with the brilliant idea of moving the cenotaph away from where it stands right now. That empty tomb, that memorial. Do you think that William Barrett Travis and the other 182, when they saw the thousands of Mexicans that were gathering together, did they run for a safe space? Did they say that we got the shelter in place? Did they look and say, this is too much for us? No. They made a stand. And you must make a stand today. You must make a stand now. 99.6%. Remember that number. That's the recovery rate for COVID-19. 99.6%. If you read and study and understand, the most vulnerable demographics for COVID-19 are elderly, 60 and above. Those people that have underlying medical conditions such as obesity, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, those are the vulnerable demographics. This is not a lockdown, people. Stop saying lockdown. This is house arrest. When a dad is out playing t-ball with his daughter and he gets handcuffed, that's house arrest. In Laredo, Texas, where women who can't have their small business are doing nails or doing eyebrows in their house, and the city of Laredo runs a sting operation to find them and then arrest them and fine them $2,000 and 6 months in prison. That is house arrest. We have gotten to the point where government is saying you can't even come out of your house, but now we're going to tell you what you can even do in your house. That's not America. All for a 99.6% recovery rate of a virus. Sadly, in the great state of Texas, we have lost, yes, over 800 Texans. But I want you to understand this. If you go to the website for the Texas Workforce Commission, as of right now, there are 2 million unemployed Texans. There are $2 billion that have been paid out for unemployment claims in the state of Texas. Texas, if you did not know, is the 10th largest economy in the world. 10% of Fortune 500 businesses and corporations are in Texas. The oil and gas industry, which here in Texas made the United States of America energy independent, a net exporter of its energy resources. The oil and gas industry has been crushed. They have lost $1 trillion in assets, all because of a 99.6% recovery rate of a virus. See, ladies and gentlemen, if you sit back and allow this to happen to you now, then these children that are running around here on the grass, they won't remember what it would be like to come out and have a First Amendment right. They won't remember that you could come out with your Glock 30S 45 automatic on your hip, because that's the right that you have as an American. What they will know, you're right. You have a republic if you can keep it. The words of Benjamin Franklin. And what is a republic? A republic is a place that believes in individual rights, freedoms, and liberty. A republic is a place that believes in the rule of law. But when you have a governor like the governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy, who stands up and says, I did not think about the Bill of Rights. That's above my pay grade. When you have someone like Gretchen Whitmer up in Michigan, when you have someone like Gavin Newsom in California, and let me tell you something, Governor Abbott, if you took away the jobs and the freedoms and liberties of Texans in an instant, we don't need you to incrementally give them back. They weren't yours to take away in the first place, and they're not even yours to give back. You heard about Shelley Luther. And give Shelley my regards, because that's one hell of a woman. But every single one of us should have that spirit. That's right. Because it is not about you and what you have done in this moment. I think about my dad who took me to Atlanta Airport. A man that was born in 1920 in the South. A man that went and fought for his country in World War II. A man that looked at me in the eye at the age of 15 and challenged me to be the first officer in our family, because my older brother was an enlisted Marine. And it was an honor on 31 July 1982 at the University of Tennessee when I stood there and I repeated the words that my dad and my older brother had said, that I, Alan Bernard West, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's what it's all about. That I will bear true faith and allegiance. That I take this obligation freely without any purpose of mental reservation, so help me God. Every single one of you has to have the heart of standing up for that Constitution. Because if you don't, that little one will not grow up to understand the same rights and freedoms and liberties that you have enjoyed. That little one will not be able to come out here on the grass in front of the City Hall in Tyler and run around and play and tell your great-grandchildren or your great-great-grandchildren how great-grandma and great-granddad made a stand. We should not be teaching our kids this an everyday occurrence, that someone can tell you to stay in your house. You're free.
We will not stay home.
You will not stay home.
Yeah.
But you will open up your businesses. I challenge each and every one of you, and there should be more people here today, but that's another story. But I challenge each and every one of you to do as Shelley Luther has done. She said, you're not going to close my business. You may put me in jail, but you're not going to close my business. You may write me a cease and desist order, and I'll rip it up and I'll throw it in your face. You're not going to take away my essential liberty. You're not going to take away, as was read earlier, my life, my liberty, and my ability to pursue my happiness. What you're saying is better to ask for forgiveness than beg for permission. If you're an American business owner, there ain't nobody, Rebecca, that can tell you you can't keep your business open. Let me close by reminding you of a great quote from the only foreigner that was given American citizenship and has a U.S. naval vessel that was named in his honor. That's Sir Winston Churchill. And Winston Churchill said, fear is a reaction. Courage is a decision. Go out from this moment and make the decision to stand. Make the decision for courage. Because that's what it means to be a Texan. That's what it means to be an American. God bless you all.